really very... I don't know, I can't remember.
Why did you decide to stop?
Well, I got married. I got married and I became an agent and I went on to produce myself. But I must say, it was really quite moving to see that tonight. I had a lot of fun.
That's the name of the game, I guess. Have fun when you're doing it. But Nicky, the ending of Witchfinder General, I believe it was going to be different to the one shot.
Yeah, absolutely extraordinary. It shows how Mike was able to just change it. I shot somebody in that section up to the end, and at the end of the film, I had two guns, two revolvers in my not revolvers, two flintlock pistols in my belt. At the end of the film, I was supposed to shoot Vincent. And then Ian ran towards me, shouting, "You took him from me, you took him from me." And I was supposed to shoot Ian. I was supposed to kill Ian, my best friend. We shot through the night, as we said, in Orford Castle. We got down to that last section, and I said, "Michael, we've got a problem." He said, "What?" I said, "I've just shot a guard upstairs." He said, "Yeah." "I have another flintlock pistol." I said, "Yeah." I said, "I shoot Vincent. What do I shoot Ian with?" He went, "Oh shit." "Okay, I'll tell you what I'll do. He'll look at you, shout, 'You took him from me, you took him from me,' and then I'll do a montage of Hilary screaming, and we'll see it right the way up through the passages in the tower." And there was a time when Witchfinder used to play at late nights in London, in a lot of cinemas, when it became a bit of a cult. And Time Out always used to say that Witchfinder was playing, and in the last 3 minutes of Witchfinder General, Michael Reeves says more about the violence in the history of cinema than any other director has ever done. And that was completely winged on the spur of the moment.
Great. Is there any questions from you? Anyone here got any burning questions for our guest tonight? Or Darryl, of course, whether he's a guest or he's an old mate. Yes?
Hi. Interesting, Hilary, you said that you've never seen it on the big screen until tonight.
No, I don't quite know why I haven't. I mean, I've seen a couple of the... In fact, Ian gave me the latest video version when I saw him in Los Angeles recently. I guess, I mean, I suppose Mike must have shown it to us. I just don't remember seeing it on a big screen. It's one of the reasons I really wanted to come tonight, because everybody's talked about it so much. And it really holds up. And actually, what was the running time? I was fascinated by that one. You see, I think everything should be 82 minutes. I think it's too long.
Avatar, get it, 2 hours too long.
I just wanted to ask, though, I mean, it is incredibly visceral, and it really comes to life on a big screen. TV just doesn't cut it, really. Were you aware of what the reception was when the film came out originally?
No, all I could think of was my mother's going to see my tits.
I do have to say, though, it was an ancient unit. There were very old people on it. It was a time when we were late. Yeah, especially the makeup one. But it was a pickup team right at except for Johnny Cochran. It was a very last minute team pulled together, and there were real old stagers, guys on the unit. And I was very, very aware, because I was doing a few films at the time, only little bits and stuff like this. This was my first kind of thing. And I knew that we were onto something, because those old guys on the unit were going, "This is all right. This is good." And they started to talk about our movie. This is our movie. And even then, I mean, I know it's looking back now, but even then we knew we were kind of onto something. There was something extraordinary happening on this little cheap movie.
Any more questions? Yes.
Did the play, I enjoyed the film greatly, I haven't seen it before. Obviously something brought to mind was Arthur Miller's great play, The Crucible. Yeah. And I wondered if the film came before the play, or the play came before the film, or whether either one was influenced by the other.
the play certainly came before the film. I don't think Michael would have been influenced by it, because Michael never went to the theatre. He hated the theatre because he was terrified something would go wrong and he couldn't shout cut. I was at that time founder of a company called the Young Vic Theatre, and Ian dragged him to see a couple of things I was in at the Young Vic, and he would hide behind the scenes because he was so terrified of somebody forgetting their lines or somebody dropping a prop or something. So I don't think he was influenced by it. I think Michael was, as you said earlier, Michael wanted to make a Western. He'd always wanted to shoot a Western. That's why they start to ride and they don't stop riding. In an English movie at that time, you would start to ride and then you'd see them arrive the other end. Second and a half later. No. He shot it, but also he was very, very aware of the music. He worked with Paul all the way, saying, I'm going to do a long riding sequence here, I'm going to ride, and I want the music to go. And they would, and they worked very closely together, which very rarely happens now. My eldest son is a film composer, and he's brought in right at the last minute and doesn't get involved. I have to say, sorry, just plugging, my son, Christian Henson, I have to bring my notes out. He works a lot with a director you might be beginning to know now, called Chris Smith, and he did the music for Christian did the music for Severance and for Triangle, and now another one that's just about to come out called Black Death. And Chris Smith, who's a young director, is obsessed with Witchfinder and wants to do a remake.
Let's not go there. Any more questions? Come on, you're being very modest.
Can you tell me how long did the shoot actually take, the whole making of